Hello everybody, it's Captain Trucker. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about the future of more American expats going to the Philippines in the next 10 years. What that means for the culture, the economy, and other things, other nuances we may talk about. I also want to discuss my journey back to the Matrix, known as my home country, America. Okay, so as some of you may know, I came back here for gainful employment as an over-the-road truck driver. Okay, so I am going to a long-haul company, and yeah, I'm going to go back over the road for many weeks and try to stack up some more US dollars and continue investing and all that good stuff. So I thought, I'll skip the winter in America, right, and come back here in the springtime, because it is like April 1st. And up here in North Dakota, man, it's like 28 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's a snowstorm coming. In fact, it's been snowing today, and right now it's kind of sleet. Currently, I'm outside of the very classy, store known as the Walmart. In case any of you have never heard of Walmart, there it is. There's many locations across the U.S., and I've been to several of them. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of like a little bit sick, because the weather change, going from like the tropics to 28 degrees, but I can handle it, man. I'm holding my GoPro on a stick. Hold on. Oh, anyway, so this new company I'm starting, they seem to be pretty good, and fairly nice people. North Dakota, oh yeah, I can't do the accent. They kind of talk funny up here, like, oh, just go outside, go out. I can't do it. Anyway, that's how they talk. Okay, so yeah, first of all, like the trucking industry, boy, it's in bad condition for a very long time, folks. What can I say? We all know it. Society treats truck drivers like garbage. Most companies do. I'd say 85% of them. And, they treat them like the red-headed stepchild, so to speak. They don't even let you, like, well, I don't know. It's just, a lot of it's passive aggressive. Some of it's blatant. Companies do all sorts of shady things. It's been happening since the 80s. Like the 1970s was really the heyday for trucking. According to, like, adjusted for inflation, they say truckers back in the 70s were making like $160,000+ a year. OMG. If you work for like UPS now, or those kind of line haul companies, you can still make over 100 pretty easily, even up to 120 sometimes. But anyway, regulations in the 80s, I don't know, union stuff, pop culture, movies started, making these guys look like a bunch of slobs and degenerates and criminals. So, I don't know, the culture just doesn't respect them. It's just the way it is, and companies don't. But really, it's the mega carriers and kind of the upper level corporate cronies that are responsible for a lot of the wage reductions. Okay, they turned a lot of these companies into grindhouse machines, and they've sort of just taken drivers, spit them out, and pay them less money, put more money in their pockets. So you see all the advertisements. We love our drivers. We love drivers so much. No, you don't. let's just cut through it. And let's just be honest. Come on. So anyway, the new company I'm at, they appear to be pretty good. Pays decent. Good miles, all that. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, a lot of Americans, dude, they're leaving this lifestyle, man. And, I love America. I love my people. But I also feel bad for them, because they're struggling, man. The middle class, really all classes, are struggling financially, because it's a lot of money to live here, man. And inflation has grown in recent years. It might be going down a little bit now, but it's, it's kind of serious. So we got a lot more Americans, more of us, coming to the Philippines. Oh yeah, there's going to be more. There's going to be an influx. I guesstimate there could possibly be 1 million Americans in the Philippines, the country, the Philippines. Did I say that yet? The Philippines? Okay. By 2034, all right? The census and the U.S. State Department has different listings right now, so you can never get concrete data, about how many American expatriates or travelers or tourists are currently there. But it could be like 400, 500, 600,000 currently. Some say less, who knows. Got a lot of vlogs. There's like 500 foreign vloggers in the Philippines. Anyway, most of the vloggers have relatively small channels of those 500 plus, probably like around 1,000, under 1,000 subscribers. Then you got like lower mid-size-ish channels like mine, and then you got like the big channels. And so anyway, a lot of the mid-size and big channels, yeah, they're sort of basically selling the Philippines to foreign tourists. And, you know, we question the ethics on that on the Captain Trucker channel at times. You know, what's appropriate as a foreign vlogger in the Philippines, and why are we inviting so many people? Well, you know, a lot of guys need supplemental income when they're living in the Philippines, so they turn to vlogs and they basically will pander for, you know, pennies per click type of thing, sometimes fractions of a penny, and that's the way it goes. So you get a lot of pandering and stuff like that, and that's okay, I guess. But yeah, a lot of promotion, a lot of interest, a lot of incentives for people to be moving to these countries. But what does that mean? Not just for Americans, but also for the Philippines culture. Like, are we going to start slowly, you know, turning this into like a Western country more and more? Is that good? You know, I guess it's good for the economy. I was reading some stats, and they were saying the GDP in the Philippines is suspected to grow in the next 10 years, which could very well be good for the country. And I kind of feel like the Philippines culture has such a strong identity from history, and one of my favorite words to describe that culture, resilient, through various natural disasters and, you know, people going there and doing things in other countries. I don't want to say invading. I don't know if that's the right word, but maybe neo-colonialism in a sense. A lot of Western influence. But how much of that will really change the country? I don't know. It's a good question to ask, though. And, you know, I always said, like, in some way, the vlogs that you watch, they're kind of contributing to this new tag that I created called neo-social media colonialism. So in a way, like, vlogs themselves are, in fact, influencing some of these cultures, possibly. Not just in the Philippines, but other places. So it's kind of an interesting, you know, thing to look at. Yeah, you know, a lot of Americans are good people, man, and they're hardworking, and they're tired, man. They want to get out of working themselves to a bone. I meet truck drivers, like even at this company, guys in their 50s and 60s, and they don't even have. Some of them haven't even been able to buy a house at this stage in the game, and a lot of that's due to financial recklessness, probably, but it's really hard, you know. I mean, I just built a house in, you know, the island of Negros Occidental for my son for, you know, a fraction of the cost that it would cost to build here. It's a small house, but, you know, it'll be a nice house. And, you know, no loan, no interest, and so forth. And it's a good option. But foreigners, generally, unless they're married, cannot own property. They cannot own land. But if they're married, they might be able to own the property, and of course you can buy condos and so forth. But, you know, the dollar is still strong there. Like, inflation's gone up all over the world. So, you know, for retirees, you got that $1,500, $2,000 a month. You can still do pretty well there. But anyway, yeah, it's happening, man. There's more people going there, and that's the way it is. So, you know, like with the mentality of some of the Filipinos, and forgive me, I don't mean to speak for Filipinos, but for my observations, you know, they're very welcoming people, very warm people, and the type of people to where sometimes, because they're not really rude and obnoxious like us, they won't necessarily say something if they don't like the behavior of a foreigner. And so I think that we miss that as Americans and Europeans, and sometimes subconsciously that can lead to exploitive behavior, you know, to where we start to maybe take advantage because we think it's okay, but it's really not okay. For instance, rampant sex tourism, you know, I mean, stuff like that, and trying to run businesses and maybe not paying their fair share to locals, stuff like that. Those are all recipes really for disaster, you know. A lot of guys run bars down there. It's always drama no matter what. So I never recommended running like businesses down there, such as bars. It's a bad idea. But yeah, I was just starting this company, and like, you know, there's people there because people work at companies, and yeah, I've just met different people, and it's sad to see, like, you know, truck drivers working so hard and people not being able to get that far ahead financially. But it takes frugalness, man. It takes discipline to get ahead in this world, especially if you're just a regular working person like me or somebody else. That's the way it goes. Anyway, I just went to the CVS, you know, local pharmacy. I was picking up a phone charger, which I don't know why. I probably should have got it at Walmart. But anyway, I looked over at the pharmacy. There was like 30 people in line, dude. And there was like 10 people working in the pharmacy. And I'm like, what are these people taking, man? But it's become such a pharmaceutical culture here, man. You know, like even psychotropics. A lot of Americans are on these, like, you know, supposedly have all these mental illnesses, like 1 in 4 apparently. 66+ million people take these mind-altering substances to work, to cope with stress, and it's really mind-blowing, you know. So yeah, I was at the company, and there's this guy I met, this guy Wesley, and I'll just say his name was Wesley, and who's the other dude? Bradley, yeah. And we're sort of getting the keys to our truck and meeting the dispatchers, and this woman, I guess, sent the wrong load to the guy named Wesley, and it should have gone to Bradley. And I said, no, you got to remember, see, Wesley, he's the white guy, and Bradley's black, so that can help you with like a visual association, so you don't forget. Black Bradley, white Wesley. And then everybody laughed, including the HR person that was there. And Bradley goes, boy, you crazy, man. I said, thanks. I said, don't call me boy. No, I'm just joking. He's from the South. People talk that way down there. It's okay. You know, in the corporate world, as long as everybody laughs, it's not offensive when you make jokes like that. Oh, God. Yeah, man, I really, I'm in a decent mood now, because I did my drive-in test, which was interesting, actually. Wesley was in the back of the truck with the trainer or whatever, the guy administering the test, and I'm doing the road test, you know, in the semi-truck with the trailer and everything. And Wesley starts going off on a tangent about how when he would deliver loads in this particular town in Mississippi, how he said it was so hostile down there, and he's like, man, they did, you know, it's really intense racial relations, and then he started talking about, like, he looked up this town, and he's like, yeah, back in the day they had like all these lynchings there, and and he's saying all this, and I'm trying to stay on the road and like focus, because it's like my job. I'm like, really, he was genuinely distracting me. And then he's talking about how he volunteered in Ukraine, and I don't know, he was some kind of gunner, and he blew all these Russians out of a bunker recently, and I'm like, damn, dude. I'm just trying to take a road test. It's kind of funny, actually. It's never happened to me. Anyway, I passed, and that all went well. So there's a snowstorm coming, and yeah, it's like my first day kind of getting back in the saddle, and you know, I'm having not trouble, but it's hard, you know, when you've been in the Philippines for 6 months, reacclimating to this hardcore lifestyle, not just coming back to the matrix in the industrial world, but going back over the road as a truck driver. Okay, it's like, wow, you know, I've been on tricycles and, you know, walking in the provinces to our little stores and little sorry stores, and now I'm going to be in the big truck navigating these highways with all these other drivers who are stressed out and trying to get ahead in life, quite literally. You know, a lot of bad drivers out here. You got like 35,000 road fatalities every year in this country, at least. So yeah, man, it's pretty daunting, and you know, adjusting to the time difference, and I'm trying to get myself psyched up, but yeah, it's a little bit, am I really doing this? You know, the thing with this job, like if you really think about what you're doing, you almost shouldn't do it. You know, like when you start using your brain, you're like, maybe that's not a good idea to go try to drive 80,000, 100,000 miles. But then, I don't know, I guess you just do it and it's like mile by mile. Speaking of which, I'm starting to devise a plan for when I go back to the Philippines, and I have an idea for a business that I can run remotely and that I can start building while I'm here. And I think this could be a perfect transition for me to you know, spend more time in the Philippines and start another legit business. Not a business in the Philippines. I'm saying it's like it's going to be here, but I can work in the Philippines remotely, in the trucking industry related. So yeah, I'm going to really put some thought into this and try to get something done, because I've been going back and forth now for years. I've made about 15, maybe 16 trips. It's been a long road, and yeah, you know, I'm getting older, sort of, I guess, but I don't know how many more years I want to do this, you know. And you know, I miss my people in the Philippines, and you know, I want to be there more. Although I have spent quite a bit of time there the past years. So anyway, that's all I got, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's Captain Trucker. Thank you for watching. We got a lot of more stuff coming up, folks, so stay tuned. All right, bye-bye.